All right. Well, good morning, everyone. How are you doing today? Nice to see you all. Got a lot of friends joining us today, which is awesome. Well, my name is Parker, and I am just so excited to be able to share with you this really amazing state park that I'm at here in California today. And we're going to get a chance to see what makes this place unique and maybe even get a chance to see some of the creatures who call this place their home. So I know you all are at home. I'm here at this park today. It's a nice day out. It's a little breezy here. And so, yeah, just really exciting. So with that, I'm sure you're probably wondering, well, where are you? I want to see if you can figure it out. Are you ready to see where I'm at? Well, here I am. This is where I'm at. Could you guess where I'm at? If you said, though, I was along the coast in California, you got it right. I am along the coastline. Here's the ocean. Okay, now, I want you guys to think about what is the name of the ocean that is next to us in California? Well, if you said that was the Pacific Ocean, you got that right. This is the Pacific Ocean, and we are right along the coastline here, and we're going to talk about this unique coastline that we have, and we call this coastline here, we call it the Gaviota coastline. And that's because I am at Gaviota State Park, which is one of our 280 state parks in California. So that's where I am at today, Gaviota State Park, one of my favorite state parks. And I hope that you all will get a chance to see that today. So where I'm at this state park here, we have about well over 2,000 acres of land. It goes all the way back behind me here, goes all the way back there, all those hills back there, that's all part of our state park. But we're here today to talk about the beach that we're at, this ocean. Right here in front of us, this ocean we're looking at. Now, I want you to think for a second. What does it mean to be a state park? What does that mean? Well, maybe why are state parks important? Well, if you said that state parks, they're important because they help protect wildlife and the plant life that's there. They also provide a place for people to go have fun. You got it right. Those are all the reasons why we have these state parks, to also preserve our land. But our ocean here, what do you think? Is this part of our state park? I'm not quite sure. Well, this ocean that's right here, this is what we call a marine protected area. Have you all heard of a marine protected area before? Well, a marine protected area is like a state park, but it's underwater. Yeah, we're actually standing in our marine protected area right now because it begins at the mean high tide line. So I'm at the mean high tide line. And I was here earlier, and this was in water, but our tide's going out now. So we're kind of watching it go out. But yeah, we're in our marine protected area. This is a marine protected area. It's like a state park, but it's underwater. And the whole point of it is to kind of help protect the species who live here. So hopefully we can get more fish. This is all science. There's a lot of research that's going on to see how effective these marine protected areas are in California about helping all those creatures that live there. And there's actually science that's leading in the right direction that will hopefully say that these marine protected areas are working. But yeah, this is it right here. And the name of my marine protected area, this is called Cashtayit State Marine Conservation Area. Can you all say Cashtayit State Marine Conservation Area? Well, nice job. I hope you said it. And so Cashtayit State Marine Conservation Area, that's the name of that marine protected area behind me. And we have 124 of these marine protected areas in California. And they all work together as a network, So I actually have a picture, or I should say it's a map of the marine protected areas in Southern California. I'm gonna bring that up right here. All right, so here is my map of Southern California. These are our marine protected areas in Southern. We have Southern, Central, and Northern California. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna zoom in down here in the South, down in San Diego. Here we are. Okay, now we're gonna move our way north along the coastline, and I want you to see if you can spot Cascade State Marine Conservation Area. Well, let's go ahead and let's move up along the coast. I don't know, do you see it yet? I'm still looking. Keep going. Well, here's Los Angeles. When we have the islands out here, there's marine protected areas all along the islands. Still looking for Cascade. Here's Santa Barbara. All right. Oh, let's see. I see some friends raising their hands. Okay, so do you see it? Ah, nice. Nice job, everyone. You spotted it. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and circle it just in case you didn't see it. I'll circle it in blue. There we are. Cascade, there we are. And that little blue area right there along the coastline, that little blue box, that's our marine protected area, Cascade State Marine Conservation Area. It's one of the kind of the smaller ones, as you can see, compared to the other marine protected areas, but that's our marine protected area, and it still has a very important role in our ocean. But that is where we are. We're just north of Santa Barbara. We're about 20 minutes north of Santa Barbara along the coastline. So that is where we're at. And this entire coastline here that's in blue, that blue squiggly line, that's the Gaviota coastline. And we're on it right now, the Gaviota coast. Can you guess why it's called the Gaviota coast? Ah, right, because we're at Gaviota State Park. So Gaviota coast. It's one of the last remaining undeveloped coastlines in California. But that is our map of our marine protected areas. And we'll take a little closer look. Here is a map from the California Department of Fish and Wildlife, because they're the ones who manage these marine protected areas. But here we are. Here is Cascade on the map. And then on the map, I'm on the shore right now. So I'm like right here. There I am. Yay. So that is where we are in California. All right. Now, this is our marine protected area, and you can do a lot of cool things in our marine protected area because they're kind of like a state park, remember, but they're like underwater. And so what kind of fun things do you like to do at the beach? Can you think of any? Well, maybe some of you like to go surfing. You could do that here. Maybe some of you like to go snorkeling or maybe even scuba diving. People do that here as well. Even boating too. I saw some boats out here this morning, boats going out into the marine protected area. Saw about 2 of them here. They're out fishing because you can go boating and you can go fishing in here. Yeah. So you can do all of those things, but each marine protected area has different rules. So some places you might not be able to do certain things, but our marine protected area, you can do all of those things. And there's just a couple rules that we have to follow when we're in the marine protected area. There's some things that we can't collect and we can't take, or some things that you have to have special permission to take or do in them. And we'll kind of talk about that a little bit later on our adventure. Oh, and you can also see, I have my pier here at Gaviota. And so that is a pier. It got ruined in a storm a couple years back. And so we don't currently use it. It's closed off, but that is our pier that we're looking at right there. So I wanted to point that out to you all as well. Okay, well, let's change gears a little bit. I figured it would be fun to look at some of the some of the creatures who called Gaviota State Marine Conservation Area their home. All right, so I'm gonna put up some pictures. It's gonna be like a zoomed in picture. And I want you to see if you can figure out what animal it is. Okay, let's see. We'll start off with, let's do something like this. Okay, looking at this, I don't know. Do you know? Well, looks like it's kind of like a silvery gray color. Ooh, there's like these lines here. Could those be whiskers? Well, let's see what this could be. You said this was a sea lion, a California sea lion. You got it right. This is our sea lion here. We got lots of these guys that live off of our coast. I haven't seen any today, but we'll keep a lookout. They like to come in nice and close here at Gaviota. And I want you to think too, what could these sea lions, what do they eat? What could they eat? Do they eat food like we do? They do eat food, but what do they eat? Well, you said they could eat like fish. You got that right. Or like squid or like octopus. You got that right as well. Those are all things that they could eat. And speaking of another animal that relates to this, let's see. I'll bring that one up. Okay, let's look at this one. I don't know. I'm looking at this one. I don't know. Well, let's see if you got it right. Did you say a fish? I think I heard a fish. Well, this is a fish, and this is a surf perch. That's one of the fish species that we have here. We have lots of different species. Got rockfish and kelp bass and sheephead. Those are all found right here at Gaviota and all throughout California as well. But this is our surf perch here. And that reminds me too, is that our marine protected areas are here because of fish. That's one of the main reasons why we have them. Because if we look at my map, okay, look at, we have all of these marine protected areas, right? Right, we got all of those, okay. So we look at this. Down the way, we have another marine protected area called Naples. So the fish could have a little safe spot there, and then they could swim this way, and they could go to Gaviota. Then we could have some, maybe they lay some eggs or something here. And then they could go down here, Point Conception. So they could travel along the coast and have these spots that hopefully there's a lot of fish, and the environment, the ecosystem is very healthy there. We want to hope that that would happen. We call that the spillover effect. I know, pretty cool. It's a kind of a complicated idea, but it's a little simple, that hopefully we get more fish, because species like that sea lion, they eat fish, they rely on that. Even though those are bigger, got to remember those smaller animals are what is at the base of like our food chain. Okay, now let's see. I have a couple other creatures who live here. I want you to see if you could figure them out. Okay, let's look at this one right here. What do you notice about it? What kind of observations can you make about this? Remember, this is science. Try to make some observations. Wow. It could be the color, right? What color is it? This is like an orangish color. You have like dots on there too. That's another observation. Well, let's see. You said that this was a sea star. You got it right. Or a starfish. Those are two common names for the same creature. So that is it right here. This is our ochre sea star that lives here. Call it Piesaster. And so those guys, they live along our pilings right here at Gaviota. We find them all the time right out here. Generally when the tide's out a little bit lower, because today the tide's in kind of far. So, but sometimes we do see them here. And they like to eat some stuff. Okay, well, let's see. I actually got this picture from the other day when I was down here and the tide was very low. Okay. I want you to see what you can observe about these pictures. Okay. What do you notice about them? If you have someone next to you, you can share with them, or you can just think about it to yourself. Well, I see a sea star, right? And look, we have these things that are around the mussel. I mean, around the sea star. Look at these. You guys know what those are called? Got some over there. Well, if you said those were mussels, more specifically the California mussel, you got it right. Do those look like your mussels that you have? Well, I know they don't look like mine, but that is one of the main foods that they will snack on when they're here. Here's their mussels right there. And you can see, here's another picture I got too of that same sea star. So they make the mussels live up a little bit higher. They push them up. And if we go down here, we'll see the mussels are going to be up in a little bit higher because the sea stars, they like to eat them. So they eat them all when they're down below, because the sea stars, right, they need to stay in the water. They can't be out of the water for a long period of time. They're not like us where we can be out of the water for a long period of time. They need the water in order to survive. The mussels, they have a different adaptation. They can just close up. And I actually have our mussel here too. I have one of these guys. Here we are. Here's our mussel shell. So these are here at Cashtite. And something to remember too is that these guys, we can't collect mussels here because they provide an important food source for a whole bunch of different species like our sea stars. But they also help they're filter feeders. They help filter out the water and they filter them. So these guys here, we can't collect these at our marine protected area, but these are them here. That's one of those things. Another one is the scallops too. The scallops is another thing. All right. So, okay, I want you to see, I have maybe 2 more things that we can get, or creatures, I should say, that live here. Let's see. You can guess what this is. What could this be? Well, if you said that it was a sea urchin, you got it right. This is our sea urchin. Okay, now, what kind of a sea urchin do you think this is? Well, if you said this was a purple sea urchin, you got it right. I got one right here. This is our purple sea urchin. Or if I feel these spines, these pokey things, these are called spines. Pretty pokey. And so these are them right here, our purple sea urchin. We have quite a bit of these that we have along the coastline. And these guys, they like to eat stuff. What do you think they could eat? Well, you said that they could eat like seaweed and kelp. You got it right. They like to eat seaweed and kelp. They like to eat a whole bunch of it. And to the point where sometimes they could just eat too much and there won't be any left. So it's important that we have species like sea otter who eat these, because then we will have more of those important kelp forests, the forests that are underwater. Okay, let's see. I have one last species I think we should identify before we go on a little walk here at Cashtite State Marine Conservation Area in Gaviota State Park. Well, let's see. Okay, what are some observations that you have about this guy right here? Well, maybe observation could be that it's shiny, right? It's pretty shiny. Ooh, and it's colorful. Well, let's find out what it is. An abalone. You said it was an abalone. You got it right. So I actually have my abalone shell right here. This is a pretty big one. We don't generally find these this big because people a long time ago they had too many of them, right? They took too many of them to eat. And so because the abalone is like a snail kind of, it likes to live at the bottom of the ocean, goes around. And so people were eating too many of them. So they began to become threatened and endangered, these abalone hounds. So that's why we've seen less of them. But here's our abalone here. Look, you can see the colorfulness on it. And here it is on the outside as well. This is actually a red abalone that we have. But this is it right here, our red abalone. And this was very important too, because it's used for all sorts of things traditionally with the Native Americans in California, such as the Chumash people who lived in our area in California, who lived here. And so this was a very important food source and item within their culture. So this is a very important creature when we look at it. Okay. So we've been talking about this place and seeing some of these creatures, but I don't know about you. Should we go take a little stroll to see what we could find? All right. Well, let's go ahead and let's go see this place that we've been talking about all day. Okay. Well, we're going to go take a little stroll. We're going to walk this way. Here it is. You can get an idea. Our beach is pretty small here, but this is it. There's no one here today. I'm the only one here. Okay. I'm going to go walk in and, whoa, look at this. Huh. Okay. What do we think this could be? Looks like the tide blocked this in last night. Well, if you said this was kelp, you got it right. This is our brown algae. Because what color is this? It is brown, right? This is our brown algae. So this is it right here. And more specifically, we call this our feather boa. This is the feather boa right here. We have a couple other species here of algae. We have the giant kelp is one that was here. Is another common one that we see, but this is it right here, our feather boa. And so you can see right here, we have these blades. We have some smaller blades on this one. That's what we call like the leaf-like things. We call those blades. And then the stem, let's see, I think I can get a look at this stem, right? On like a tree, we call it a stem. We call this a site. That's it right here. That goes up. You can see it's pretty big too, this piece is. And then down at the bottom, we have what on a plant that we see on land, we would call it a root, right? But on a piece of kelp or algae, we call it something different. Can you guess what this is? Well, you said this was a holdfast. You got it right. So what it does is it holds onto rocks. You can even see this right here. We have a rock that it's holding on to. And that's what they do. They just latch on there because I want you to think, is the ocean a really calm, is it an easy place to live? Well, let's take a look. Wow, ocean, it's a pretty rough place to live. And all of these animals and these plants and algae that live here, they all need to adapt to live in this an ocean environment, which is really, really rough place to live. This is it right here. So those are some of those adaptations that it's developed to live in the ocean. Wait, right next to it, I found something else too. Okay, let's see. Here it is. Wow, it's like really soft. It's kind of pokey too, and ooh, it's really slimy as well. This here is red in color. You know, it's kind of hard to see. This is it right here. This is what we call a Turkish towel. This is a species of red algae. So we have red, brown algae that live here. that we can find a lot of, especially when the tide comes in. Look, you can just see all of it on the beach coming in here, especially when we have a rough day. All right, so we got to see some of this, which is pretty cool. Now, something too about our rules that we have. Remember we have those rules that we talked about earlier? Now, you can only collect the giant kelp, the really big one, by hand. That's the rule here. So people who have big machines who harvest the kelp to make things, because we use kelp to make all sorts of things. Use it to make like glues and emulsifiers and our ingredients and foods too. So when they harvest them, they use big machines. They can't do that in our marine protected area. That's one of the rules. Well, what do you say? Should we keep going and see what else we could maybe find? All right. Well, that sounds like a great idea. Let's go ahead and we'll go this way. Oh, here's our, here, I think we should go down there. See if we can see anything. All right. It's a lot windier down here, as you can tell. Okay. It's been pretty windy down here. It gets really windy at Gaviota too, especially in the afternoon. And look, you can see our pilings. And on our pilings, we have a lot of mussels who live on those pilings. A lot of them. Wait a second, I see something. I want you to see if you can spot it as well. Okay, let's have a look. See anything? Well, I see some sea anemones. You see these guys? Yep, there they are. So those are our sea anemones that we have. Those are green sea anemones. We've got a couple of them here in one of our tide pools. So this is our part of our upper tidal zone here at Gaviota State Park. You can see them right there, just hanging out. And you can see we have some more rocks too over here where we get some tide pools, some small ones. They're not super exciting, but they're still pretty cool. But you can see when the tide goes out, we get to see even more different of the species. All right, so we got to see those sea anemones. How cool. One of my favorites. Wait, what is this? What could this be? Here are these guys right here. Well, if you said those were mussels, you got it right. We have lots of mussels, big mussel colonies here that live here. They're really dominating. They're just all over the place. If we look across the way, let's see if we can see. This rock over here just has a whole bunch of mussels on it. It's a whole bunch. All right. But that is it right there, which is pretty cool. It looks like we even have some barnacles as well. So those are all some of those species we have that live at State Marine Conservation Area. So we're in the MPA right now, that marine protected area, and we got to see some of those really cool species that live here. Okay, well, let's go ahead and we're gonna walk back this way. All right. Now, all right, so remember we said this place is called Gaviota State Marine Conservation Area, right? Now, I'm going to think about that word, Gaviota. Have you heard of it before? Well, what could it mean? Well, Gaviota is actually a Chumash word. Yeah, the Chumash are the Native Americans who live in our area of California. And this was once a village right near here called Gaviota, which meant the place of the royal willows. And they use the ocean for everything. And so that's one of the main reasons why this marine protected area was established, because of how the Chumash people have historically and how they currently still use the land. And what they do is they only take what they need from the land. And we call that consumptive use. They only take what they need. Do you practice consumptive use? Do you only use what you need, or do you let some things go to waste? Well, I know even myself, sometimes I let things go to waste, but it's important when you harvest and you borrow the resources from the ocean that we must remember to respect it, because it's a living thing. And we have to remember that we can only take what we're going to use or what we need. So that's something that we can use today to practice in our homes and in our communities, and relate that to how the Chumash people have been able to successfully do this long before it really ever became a thing. But this is it. That's what it means, Kashtayit, the place of the royal willows. Well, let's go ahead and we'll go take a little stroll again. Let's go down to the other end of our beach here. We'll take a little stroll. We'll see if we can see anything else. Well, so we talked a little bit about why it's called Kashtayit, but let's talk about why this place is called Gaviota State Park. Okay, so Gaviota. Okay, have you heard of that word before? Do you use that regularly? Well, it's not a word in English, but what language could that be in? Well, if you said that was a word in Spanish, you got it right. A gaviota is a word in Spanish. Now, I want you to think, what could a gaviota be? What could it mean? Any ideas? Well, okay, we're going to take my camera around. And here is Gaviota. Well, you said that they were seagulls. You got it right. So a gaviota is a seagull. A gaviota is Spanish. So that is why they call this one gaviota. Now you know a gaviota is a seagull. So every time we're saying Gaviota State Park, we're really saying Seagull State Park. But we do have a lot of seagulls who live here. And birds, they're important because they tell us what kind of animals are living out here in the ocean. If there's a lot of fish, we'll see a lot of birds swarming, and we'll know, hey, our ecosystem's doing pretty good out there. They're good indicators. All right, so that is how we get our name, Gaviota State Park. Okay, let's go ahead. We're gonna walk down here. See the ocean here, but I can see some other stuff. Let's see. Do you see anything? Well, right up here, I want you to see if you can notice. All right. Right, we're almost there. To the other end of Gaviota State Park. Oh, well, here's the ocean. Wait, but there's water over here. Do you see that? Yeah. Look at all that water. Well, this is a part of a creek. This is Gaviota Creek. Yep, and we even have a small estuary where this creek meets the mouth of the ocean right here. This is it. This is Gaviota Creek. And our estuary, and this is a very important habitat, goes all the way up into our back country of our state park. And this provides important habitat for different fish species, such as the steelhead trout, who use both the creek and the ocean as part of their life cycle, as we call it. So this is still another important habitat that we can find. This is it right here. So it's like a nursery ground for fish. So this is it right here. And well, wait, I see some stuff. Huh, what? I'm gonna see if you guys can see this stuff. Oh no. What could this be? Well, you said this was pollution. You got it right. This is some litter that we have on the beach. We have a straw here. Oh no, and we have one of these here. Well, where do you think, where could this trash, this pollution, this litter, where could it come from? Wait a second. Could it have come from the land? Yeah, probably did. So everything that we do on land, it leads to the water. So there's oil on the ground. That's eventually going to go to a waterway, just like this. Or if we have trash like this, probably it's going to blow into a waterway. And where do you think the water, where is it going to go? Where is this leading us? To the ocean. That's right, it's leading us to the ocean. So all of that pollution is going to go out to the ocean. And is our ocean going to be a healthy spot? What do you think? I don't think so. It's not going to be a healthy place for all the creatures that we've talked about to live. So it's important that we do our part. And when we see trash, I have a little saying. It's called "Take 3 for the sea." All right. So I know it kind of rhymes. So remember that. Can you all say it with me? Take 3 for the sea. So when we see trash like this, we take 3 pieces of it. And we're going to hopefully make our ocean a better place for all of the creatures to live, because the ocean's a healthy place, then our lives on land are going to be even healthier. Because a lot of the things that we depend on come from the ocean. Because, right, we use the ocean for fish and seafood. Oh, and we get other resources from the ocean as well, like the kelp. So that's something to remember. So take 3 for the sea. And remember, all of the waterways will eventually go to the ocean, just like what's here at Gaviota Creek. And so this creek too has a couple areas where pollution can come in from. We have a campground here, although the campground's currently closed, but we do have a highway that goes right along the hillside. So all that pollution and runoff from the highway, it's going to go into the creek. The creek follows that, goes up there, and there's some other communities that are just not too far away from us here. So take 3 for the sea. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to take this litter that we found and take it with me. All right, everyone. So as you can tell, Gaviota State Park is a pretty amazing place to be able to explore. There's just so much to see and so much to talk about, especially when it comes to our ocean and our marine protected areas. So I want you all to remember that it's important for us to do our part, make our oceans a better place. And I encourage you all to learn more about our oceans. It is very interesting. And throughout the entire day today, there's other programs we're going to talk about marine protected areas. So I encourage you all to check those out as well. So thank you all so much for joining me today. It's been really fun. I hope you all enjoyed it and learned a lot of great information about our marine protected areas in California. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. We'll see ya. Bye.